How we doing, everybody? Welcome to a special segment of the WTS podcast, Let's Talk Sports podcast, with my boy on the line, Richie. How you doing?
Doing good, Mike. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. We're coming back to talk a little bit about the not the Last Dance, but a lot of topics surrounding the Last Dance and what stemmed from it. And one of those things was Draymond versus Chuck because they've been going at it for the past couple of years now.
Years?
Yeah. So Draymond of like the last time he spoke about Chuck said, you know, got no rings, can't sit at this table. He's impacted the game more than Chuck has. A whole bunch of comments, negative comments about Chuck. Rich, what do you got to say about that, man? What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts. As I told you like multiple times, I like Draymond Green. It's not like I like him I like him for who he is and a tough player that he is. And every time I'm talking about Draymond Green, it's always about like 2015 Draymond Green and what he brought to the team, his toughness and everything he was.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of his reaction and comments in regards of Chuck saying that, oh, he got three rings, he can sit at the same table, he's a better player than Chuck. I don't believe so because everyone who knows Charles Barkley and what he brought to the game of basketball, any team he was, specifically, I'm gonna concentrate to the '93 Phoenix Suns. No, that comment was not accurate. Like, I'm sorry, Draymond Green, but let's look at that, Mike. Charles Barkley '93, he won the MVP, and you're sharing the league with one of the players that is considered as the best player that ever played the game. And
Right.
also at that time, he was the player that, like denying you guys
Yeah.
one little slight ring. And we
Back
all
to
know
back,
maybe Michael,
back to
yeah,
back championships on
oh,
a chase for a third one
third
at the
one.
time.
You know what's it's mental at that time. Like, damn, they're gonna come to that third for that third. Michael Jordan's gonna go crazy. And for you to win the MVP during that time also is kind of hard. Because Michael Jordan probably like the best player in every season.
Yep, he was,
And
and Michael Jordan was salty that he didn't win MVP
like,
that year.
yeah, remember what he said? He said that, all right, get that. I'm going to get the most important ring. But yeah, Charles Barkley, his stats for the season 25.6 points per game, 12.2 rebounds, and averaging pass per game 5.1. Draymond Green in 2014 was probably the peak Draymond Green that we will ever see,
Yep.
averaging 14 points per game. That's not an issue for me because he's not an offensive threat. But 9.5 rebound and 7.4 assists. 7.4 assists, 4 assists, because he's the one who's generating the offense, and also look who he has to feed the ball. You got Clay, Curry. You still got Iguodala that can hit
Mhm.
any shot if he want. And also you got Clay and Curry. Even if they're off for three straight quarters, they can go off in the fourth quarter and get 40 points each. So that also puts you in an advantage here for those stats. But look at Chucks now in the finals. Finals points per game. 27.3 points per game, 5.5 assists against a Bulls team. You playing against Rodman was already there, right?
No, Rodman wasn't there at that point. I don't
No,
think
he
he was
wasn't
there
there, but
yet.
yeah. But you playing against
Was
tough
he?
teams.
Yeah, no,
I
he
can't
wasn't.
remember if
I
he
don't think
was
he.
there.
I don't think he was yet. I don't think so. I think he came in like 94. I think he came the next season after Jordan had retired. If I'm not mistaken.
We would, oh yeah, we'd probably have to take a look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah.
But
Because
you
I
you
think
put
I think I think Horace Grant was the center
yeah, Horace
at
Grant
that
was
time.
there. But you played against tough teams to still average 27.3 in a final against Michael Jordan, 24 points game in game 3 in W. It's a mental game right now. You lost two straight at home and you're going back to the
Exactly.
to Bulls and you're
Exactly.
still able to
Yeah.
do that. They got 32 points in game 4, but he lost. But when I was looking at the box score, like the team didn't show up. And like you said, also there was a comment you said, um, in regards of that,
They were
um,
one bad play away from tying.
yeah,
One bad play from tying it. They were up
after that
two.
three,
Yep, they were up two. And the waning moments of the game, and John Paxson has a big time three, wide open. You know,
It shows
And
you what a caliber player he was. He's not
exactly.
giving up. And those stats doesn't even come close to whatever he Draymond Green did in any finals.
It's so disrespectful, man. It's just so disrespectful. I'm tired.
Man.
I'm tired. I'm tired of Draymond. This is what the Golden State Warriors are carrying right now with Draymond Green. Just a bag of garbage. Just a bag of
Come on, man.
garbage.
Let's not go
Nah,
there.
nah, nah. Just a bag of garbage, man. Like this guy is on what 100 million, 90 plus $100 million contract over the next 4 years. I think he's what 30, 31 years old now. He's already breaking down. We already saw the fluctuations in his weight, like within the season. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are not here. Like we see like his game diminishing, and
His
he yet
stats went down.
yeah, and yet he still decides to run his mouth like he's one of the most impactful players that ever played the game. Draymond Green, you're not Dennis Rodman. You didn't revolutionize shit. Like he's so. I'm just tired, man. He's just disrespectful. Like, who are you, guy? Like, why are you running your mouth so much? Like when so much has been given. Like you've worked hard to put yourself in the position you are, for sure, for sure. No player like you were overweight, power forward when you came in. You probably were like Carl Landry, like a better comparison to Carl Landry when you first came into the NBA. You worked your way into shape. You became like a point forward for your team, and you became a very good piece to complement Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then we know KD came afterwards to push them, way above the other the competition when they were already above the competition. But to be disrespectful like that, towards Chuck, to have comments saying that people are coming at me saying like they're looking at this season right now and saying that I couldn't be productive for my team, but Michael Jordan struggled when Scottie Pippen wasn't on the team. Who are you, man? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just exhausting. I wish he would stop talking. I wish he would stop being disrespectful to the legends like Chuck. Stop talking about Kevin Durant, and he was the reason why you guys became fed up, and you were fed up with him and his contract situation because of his refusal to talk to the media at all. Just stop it. Like I'm done with Draymond at this point. Like he's just exhausting, man. But the other thing too, like about the Kevin Durant contract, I don't know if you want to talk, like give your 2 cents about it, but he spoke about it again.
Yeah, he spoke about it twice in two different podcasts.
Yeah.
And what we came into realization is that, like you're saying, that Draymond Green is an important piece to the Golden State, but it's what he does outside of the talking that makes people hate him more. About like talking about legends and disrespecting legends in regards of like getting rings. And I don't believe that rings define your career. Like someone like Charles Barkley deserved to have a ring, but it's obviously you had a lot of guys.
Michael Jordan denied so many people of NBA championships.
Yeah,
Patrick Ewing doesn't have a championship because of.
Actually, salty right now. He's not even watching that dance right now. Karl Malone almost had his in the Lakers, but they lost to the Detroit Pistons, I think in 2004. No. I'm mistaken, not 2004. It has to be before. Yeah.
2004. 2004, yeah.
So it's like, like it's still a situation like now, like when KD came in. Okay, KD came in and they won two championships.
Yep, 2 more. On his way to a third.
Going his way to the third. This is what Draymond Green mentioned. He said his comment to KD in that time of the verbal altercation when he called KD a bitch, and he said that's not what the dynamic or the change of thoughts of KD. He said the change of thought of KD is it came way before that, when after winning the second championship, and they were still talking about LeBron James as the primary player in the NBA, the best player in the NBA, or the face of the league. And he said that's when KD became distant, and that's what changed KD, and he didn't feel love, and he didn't feel happy again the same way he came in the first season. And you can have seen that also, like first season KD was happy and then like, making plays and stuff like that, but when afterwards, I agree with that part. But he's trying to diminish what happened also in the verbal altercation, that not like
For sure.
that was also a major point. I believe that KD was gonna leave after third championship.
So
But
do I.
say like the verbal altercation never happened, and they lose that third against the Raptors. I believe they wouldn't. I mean, KD's still injured, but they lose that. Maybe KD could have resigned. Maybe, you never know. It'd be like, okay, let's run him back for one more season. I'm not sure if he would be able to sign another 1 year contract.
If he did, somebody would have to get traded. Like
Or
they were
Draymond
not, because they had started with Iguodala, but I don't think that was going to be enough.
enough.
Yeah, maybe they could have pulled it off, but I think somebody else should have been moved. I mean, they kind of did, because D'Angelo Russell got a big contract after they traded Iguodala, so maybe they could have pulled it off, but I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe, yeah, like you said, maybe. But that verbal altercation is the last string to be like, all right, KD be like, okay, the media is trying to push me away from that dynasty, because when they're gonna talk about that dynasty, they're also gonna mention KD, because he became part of it. They won 2 championships together. He is part of your dynasty too. But the media was trying to push him away, and all of this last string about like what your teammate now is part of it. He's like, okay, I'm out. That's what, and obviously he's trying to brush it off, but it's part of it, of his decision. And you also said it also. I'm not sure if it was in All the Smoke podcast. He said it somewhere, like you said, when you said that it was part of his decision also to leave.
Because initially KD said that no, like Draymond, that thing really had no bearing on his decision. But then when he went back on All the Smoke, and I think not Steven, I think Barnes actually asked him the question, because Barnes usually asks most of the questions, and he said, "It's like, yeah, for sure it did." So
Stephen Jackson in the back, like,
yeah, it's like everybody knew, man. Like, there's no way that doesn't affect your decision making too. Like, that doesn't add a little seasoning on top of that to influence your decision on leaving the Golden State Warriors, because we knew of the other things too. Like, it was always the Golden State Warriors and Kevin Durant. It was Steph Curry's team, Steph Curry's world. But the fact that, guys, you were supposed to notice, like, those questions were going to be incessant about Kevin Durant. So him getting frustrated about it, it just shows me the amount of, like, the ego of Draymond in that moment, and for what he did in that moment, and to go at Kevin Durant in that moment is just huge ego, poor decision making. We saw it in the 2015 finals when he couldn't keep from hitting people in the nuts. Like, Draymond is just a player that, and we've come to see the rumors now, a lot of GMs are saying that the Golden State Warriors should cut ties with him at this point, because he's more of a burden now than he is a productive player for his team. And all I got to say about this afterwards is, like, when you come from the bottom, like, yes, it's good to have a chip on your shoulder, and it's good to be arrogant, but you have to be arrogant in a certain way. Keep it on the court, like, be confident in yourself, but be humble at the end of the day too, man. Like, Steph is such a great example of that, because he's so humble, but when he gets on the court, he still gives you those fuck you 3-pointers at the end of the day.
It's a game.
Exactly.
You gotta rub it in the face.
Exactly, man. Like, it's good to be confident. You can be cocky too, but there are limits, man. Like, come on. like Draymond's just exaggerating at this point.
There's a limit also in regards of, like, the perspective of player he is. He is an important piece, but you're not Curry, you're not Clay, you're not Kobe, you're not that player.
Exactly.
To be this always cocky in the media, like, to always be talking like how you, like, won 3 championships. Nobody can talk to. It's like nobody can talk to if you don't have
exactly. And they pay him like he's an important player too. Like, you're getting paid $20 million a year, bro. Like, you're getting paid like you're an important player, but to be like
You don't know about that?
to be like, yo, I'm one of the most like I changed me, Steph and Clay, we changed the game, bruh. Come on.
You were part of the team that changed but Curry Curry did change the game.
Yeah.
In terms of like, oh, everyone wanted to shoot at this point. But you were part of the team. You were the one feeding the ball. You were doing like the screens and everything. He was doing screens? No, right?
Yeah, he does.
He does a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
He's part of the team, but nah. And also, when we're talking about Curry, we can mention the comment. I'm not sure if you have more to add to KD's situation.
Yeah. To we don't want to run too long, but Maverick Carter made a comment like that became a soundbite for a lot of news outlets, saying that at his age right now, at 38 years old, hasn't played a decent game of basketball in 18 years. That everybody knows Steph Curry's defense is trash. But he tried to clean it up on the back end after that comment, saying after like running his mouth for like a minute and a half again, and saying that yes, Steph Curry, like, he's good at help defense. He gets deflections, he gets a lot of steals, but he's trash one-on-one. So he needs everybody else around him to elevate him. Nobody ever said anything about that. My only problem was that in that moment, when he made those, like, he was really spicy with it. He said Steph Curry is trash.
I think he said fucking trash, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Yeah. And he would struggle against me at 38 years old playing basketball right now. Draymond said not a word, not a peep came out of his mouth. So that just shows me the type of attitude that this guy has at this point, man. It's just like I can't vibe with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of shocked because Draymond always backs up Curry in the media and everything, but in that time he didn't, and I'm not sure why specifically. Maybe because he's always around Maverick Carter or something like that. I know like they're always in the barber and stuff like that, and they link a little bit. But I thought that comment was kind of like disrespectful and
for sure.
I think he should have said that. Like how Isaiah Thomas is not reliable on defense because of the switches.
Exactly, because of his height, his size.
Yeah, he should have said something like that. He'd be like, okay, Curry is not reliable when he get the switches and tough players like Harden, LeBron James, or KD when he's in the OKC, any other players like or offensive threat. We can see that, but the way he said it is like, okay, it's a little bit too much, and also like I was saying. The dynamic of a player, the Maverick Carter is a friend of LeBron James. It's also not good for LeBron's brand. It's like it's too close of a tie.
Exactly. It's just you could say Steph is bad at defense. You can. Yeah. But to say now at 38 years old, I could play against Steph Curry now and he'll struggle against me.
Never even played a one NBA game.
Man, come on, who are you?
Nobody.
Who are you, guy? Come on, son. Like, just disrespectful. And, Draymond not saying anything in that situation just showed a lot about his character. And again, in my opinion, about his ego. Because it could also stem from the fact that Steph, Clay, even Iguodala and KD, like, throughout the years, get a lot more credit than he does. And, somebody talking a little spice about one of his teammates, he's like, whatever. What?
And one thing also, like, to go back to what Maverick Carter said, Curry tries so much on defense. He will stay in front of his men in a play. Of course, sometimes he's going to get beat. He's not recognized for his defense. That's when other players like Draymond or Iguodala is going to come in, or the center or whatever. He moves his feet and his hand off the ball so well that he gets a lot of steals, and there's so many aspects that he does. He stays energized, and also one thing that you guys should understand also, even if he's the primary offense, he can't be staying on the like playing defense tough. It's gonna drain his energy.
Facts.
But he does try, and you see all the clips. He stays in front of his men. He gets the steals. There was an important steal he made in the 2018 Western Conference against the Rockets when he steal the ball against the Harden.
Yeah, he tries,
it's
man.
Harsh.
And
it's hard to say fucking trash. Talking trash means you don't try.
But in my closing argument, I will say that Draymond Green
The bag again.
is trash. All right, get rid of him, Golden State. Cut your losses. Trade him.
Are you gonna be here?
Trade him. All right. But thank you guys for listening to our little segment about the once great Draymond Green. Once great
Draymond Green.
Yeah, once great Draymond Green. Hopefully, man, hopefully he doesn't get humbled later on in his career and he's able to perform at a decent enough level that he's able to, live up to that contract. But at this point, I'm like, bro, like whatever happens to you, man, because you're annoying.
Is how you're annoying. I mean, like those comments are like my closing argument. Like those comments are the comments I don't want to see about him, because I know, like for a fact, during that time, 2014-15, I was even considering buying a Draymond jersey, and because of I like underground play that comes out and then like
exactly.
Like but those comments makes it tough to be a fan, man. But hey, we'll see.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, man. Peace.
Peace.